Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day today. Today is going to be another Shop My Stash update. Technically, we are just going to be picking out new products. This past month when I went to Hawaii, I just kind of did like a pack with me / Shop My Stash, and I didn't really do an official one, so we are going to start over. I'm just going to pick out some new products that I want to use for the month of September. I have a bunch of goodies here that I am gonna go through with you guys. I have already picked out everything, so I am just gonna show you guys the products that I picked out and kind of talk through why I chose them. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Vivian. I'm a robotics engineer with a love for all things beauty and makeup related, and I'd love it if you like and subscribe if you aren't already. With that being said, let's just hop into it. I have a couple of different things that I picked out here, most of them being lip and cheek. Well, they're all lip and cheek, surprisingly. So I have a few different options here. The first thing that I picked out is actually my Vive Modern Radiance Cream Bronzer in the shade Medium. Honestly, I picked this out because usually this bronzer is way too orange, too warm tone on me, and I don't love the way that it looks normally. However, I am the most tan that I feel like I've ever been in my life coming back from Hawaii. I feel like my skin tone is just super, super dark. None of my foundations or concealers match me right now, and because of that, I feel like this is actually the perfect time to pull out something that's more warm that I don't typically go for and hope that it works for me a little bit better. I did put this on today, and I do feel like it looks better on me today than it has in the past. I feel like the tone isn't too orange when I am this tan. So because of that, I really just wanted to take some time to try and get more use out of this. I feel like this is a really good bronzer. It's just not something I reach for a ton because of how the shade is, but also this pan is massive. Do you see how much product is in here? That is so much, and so I am gonna try and make the most out of it and try and use this up as much as I can this next month. I might even leave this in the rotation for a couple of months just to try and get more use out of it while I am this tan before I start going a little bit paler again. So that is pick number one. I also love the packaging of this Vive bronzer. I feel like it just looks like a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I love Reese's peanut butter cups. So this is the bronzer that I'm picking. I'm hoping that this will work out for me relatively well. I think it will, just because I am so tan, like I said. I did pick out two cream blushes to try and focus on this next month. The first is the Refi Cream Blush in the shade Cherry. This blush is actually really nice. I like the way that this feels a lot. I like the texture of it. It comes off as kind of like that powder matte, even though it is a cream blush. It sets down pretty nicely, and I just like the shade of this a lot. It's not too warm, not too bright. It's actually more of a cool toned red, and I really like that, especially because we are getting into fall time. I know it's not necessarily fall yet, but September is when I start to get my cozy vibes. So I really like this. I haven't used this a ton, and I feel like I can make pretty good progress out of this within the next month or so. I also like that the compact comes with a mirror. I feel like I have a lot of compacts that don't have mirrors, and it's just slightly frustrating when I am like traveling out and about when I don't have a compact mirror to hold close to my face when I'm doing my makeup. That is something that I ran into while I was in Hawaii. I forgot, I just did not have a compact mirror at all, and it was just really hard to do my makeup in the morning because I was so far away from the vanity mirror. I really like the packaging of this. I think it's really cute, and I am so glad it has a mirror. I will say this blush doesn't have a ton of product. This only has 1.5 grams, which seems pretty small. For reference, the other blush I'm going to talk about has 9 grams. So this is just a tiny amount of product, and even the component itself is pretty small too. I'm thinking that hopefully if it is this small, maybe I will hit pan on it soon. The other blush that I wanted to mention is this one from Merit. This is their Flush Balm Cheek Color in the shade Mood. Let me just swatch these for you guys so you guys can see what I'm actually talking about. This is a really pretty really natural cream blush as well. The Refi one is much thicker, but also more powdery. Here are the shades. So this cool one is the Refi, and you can see that it's much more matte, whereas the Merit Flush Balm has a much more prettier emollient sheen to it. They're both super pretty. They both blend out really, really nicely. You can see that the Merit one shears out nicely, whereas the Refi one has a bit more pigment to it. And just for the sake of showing you guys, I'm going to swatch the Vive Cream Bronzer for you as well. I really like this bronzer. It does melt so nicely, and on my hand right now, it doesn't look that warm orange, but on my more paler days, this is like straight up orange on me. So definitely feel like this is the time to try and use up that Vive bronzer, because I do like the formula. The shade just isn't super great for me. Anyway, back to the Merit Mood Blush. I think this is really pretty. My mom actually loves this formula. She loves how easy it is to swipe it on and blend it out. Honestly, I haven't used this a ton. I feel like I have a ton of cream blushes in my collection, and this just isn't one that super stands out to me compared to all of my other ones. I do like it. I do have both blushes on today, so I'm kind of layering a bunch of things, but you can see my cheeks are nice and glowy. It's partly from the blush, from the base, from everything. So I just feel like in general, my makeup right now is very glowy. I do think it's really pretty though. I think the shade is really pretty as well, and I think it's starting to get into the fall time, which I love, but it's not too deep grungy yet. I still feel like there's still a lot of time. And then everything else I picked up from my Shop My Stash is actually lip products, which I feel like is kind of crazy. I think this is my way of trying to force myself to use my lip products a little bit more. I picked out 2 lip liners, 2 lipsticks, and then 1 gloss. I know I have the gloss that's in my project pan right now, so I didn't want anything that would kind of take away from that, but I also wanted to try and make use out of this because I feel like I've made a lot of progress with this already. I feel like I want to continue to try and use it up and try and like use up my collection. So the 2 lip liners that I'm choosing, first I have the NYX lip pencil in the shade Nude Truffle. This is just a nice neutral brown, maybe even a little bit more of a cool tone brown. So that is NYX Nude Truffle right there. And then I also have the Rare Beauty lip liner, the Kind Words matte lip liner in the shade Bold. I do have the matching lipstick for this lip liner that I don't have in my project pan, but again, I'm hoping that by having this lip liner in my Shop My Stash, I said project pan earlier, I meant Shop My Stash, in my Shop My Stash, I am hoping that I will just get some really pretty, some more deeper lip looks to play with, because most of my lip products, as you guys know, are very neutral, very sheer. I'm not like a huge bold lipstick person, but I do have these sheer lipsticks that I want to try and use up a little bit more. So those are the 2 options for lip liners. That's NYX Nude Truffle, and then that is Rare Beauty Bold. They're really pretty. They last really well. The Rare Beauty one is like a twist up lip liner, whereas the NYX one is a sharpenable one. They're both just really pretty, and I really like NYX Nude Truffle when it starts getting into fall time because it's just a deeper brown. I feel like it looks really good on my skin tone. I'm also going to put in my Summer Fridays Dream Lip Oil in the shade Rosewood Nights. I do really like this. I think it's a really pretty formula. I just feel like I have made a ton of progress with this already, and I don't need to be. Like, I feel like there's not a ton of product in this packaging, and I feel like I haven't used it a ton. If you look really closely, you can see that like all of the products is pretty much down here already, and it's almost halfway empty. That being said, I think this is a really pretty formula. I think it's really cushiony and it feels really nice on my lips. I am gonna pretty much just try and use this up. I feel like because it is so thick and because the packaging is so thick, I really just want to use this up as much as I can. I am trying to minimize my collection. That's a lie. I am trying to minimize the amount of lip products I have in my collection. I have way too many. I'm really trying to narrow down a lot of the glosses that I have, especially like the sheerer ones, just because I don't need that many. I definitely need to chill my dill on some of these, and if I can try and use some of these up, then I definitely want to. And I feel like this is a really pretty color for fall as well. It's not super deep, it's not super pigmented, but it does leave like a really pretty sheen to it, and it does make my lips feel really hydrated. And I also chose 2 lip products here. The first one is my Merit Signature Lip Lipstick in the shade Slip. This is actually maybe a little bit messed up because the packaging kind of, like, the lipstick kind of came apart from the packaging, so I have to be really careful when I use this and not twist it up all the way. But it's just a really pretty sheer neutral brown shade. I'm not sure how well you can see that with the sheen, but it's just a really pretty neutral brown shade. This was one of my favorite lipsticks for a really long time. I especially love it for fall because it is so sheer and it does have a nice slight tint to it without being overpowering, and it's not too brown where I feel like it makes me look like I don't want to say like poopy lips, but it kind of feels like that, you know? I like this color a lot. It's not too pigmented, and honestly, now that I know that the lipstick itself has come apart from the packaging, I want to try and use it up more because I don't want to feel like I didn't make enough use out of it before I had to throw it away. So I have the Merit Signature Lip in the shade Slip here. And then the other product that I picked out was my Nabla Beyond Jelly Sheer Lipstick in the shade Libido. This is also a really pretty sheer lipstick. This one is much more glossy, I feel like, than the Merit ones. The color of this is also a deeper shade of red. I feel like this is going to match really well with either of these lip liners. I feel like that would be a really pretty look. I put a tiny bit on today, like over top of all the other lip products that I am wearing, but I think it's really pretty. It's not too pigmented. I can sheer it out if I want to. It has a really pretty glossy finish as well, and it's really comfortable on the lips. I really like this shade, and it's not too overpowering, like I said. And I feel like all of these tones together are kind of giving the same but different, and I kind of love that because I've been really liking a monochromatic look lately, and I feel like this definitely adds to those vibes. I feel like this looks really pretty, and I have a good range of colors to choose from, and I also think that this color palette kind of screams fall, or what I consider to be fall. Mostly just the browns and like the darker reds, like the more moody looking reds, I feel like are typically my go-to for the fall. So that is everything. That is everything that I have in my Shop My Stash right now. I am a little bit concerned about foundations and concealers because I am so tan, nothing matches me right now. Even my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation, which is usually my go-to shade, or like is usually my tan shade, is a little bit too light. So I don't want to buy another foundation just because I feel like the tan isn't going to last a super long time, but it is something that I have been considering. I know that Urban Decay just sent me a new Face Bond foundation in the shade 19, but that one's a little bit too warm for me. It's the foundation I'm wearing today, and I feel like on camera it doesn't look too bad, but I feel like in person I do have to make a little bit of an effort to make it work for me. Yeah, we'll just have to see. It's mostly my concealer that I'm worried about because most of my concealers are way too light and they end up making my under eyes look really like overly brightened, and I'm not a huge fan of that look. But as far as cheek and lip products go, I feel like this is a really good variety, a really good shade range, and it's definitely making me feel like fall is coming, and I'm so excited for that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's not my typical Shop My Stash. I just picked out a ton of products to bring with me to Hawaii, and I did not want to go through all of them, and honestly I don't even know everything that I brought because I put it all back already. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.